Cool. Hey everybody, welcome back. Thanks for coming out tonight. Really excited to see. I think we have some more people than we did last time. If somebody, actually, we take a head count at one point. So before we get into tonight's presentation, which is going to be called "Why Aren't You Birdwatching Yet?" I have some updates on the club. Oh my goodness. Slideshow from beginning. What? Oh, I don't like this view. Oh well, I'll roll with it. So our next meeting is going to be on September 18th. Local Jake Dix is going to be doing a presentation on snakes of Louisiana. Jake, this is Jake. That's Jake. He knows snakes very well, and I hope that'll be very informative. Our next field trip might be on September 2nd on Labor Day. I don't really know if y'all would be interested in that. I might put it on Facebook. I might not, depending. I don't know. Are they? See, that's important. Yeah, that's important to know. So that might happen. That might not. Canoe and Trail Adventures is the company that I work for, and we just posted a couple of tours on there that I'm going to be leading. Y'all can check it out on the website. They're called Wilderness Wanders. We got one at Fontainebleau. We got another one at Big Branch, which is really cool. And we're going to be expanding locations. The difference between that and the field trips we do here is that it'll be more tailored and personal. You know, here at the last field trip, we had 25 people out. It's kind of a free-for-all. With this, if you're the only person that signs up, it's just going to be you and me, you know? So it could be a little more personal. Jane Patterson's Birding Basics class starts September 17th. Jane Patterson's over here, president of the Baton Rouge Audubon Society. I've taken her class twice. Patty's taken it. My mom's taken it. There's probably been other people here who have taken it. It's a great class. Lauren's taken it. That's Lauren. We met actually at Jane's class, and now we are best friends, which is great. There's 2 litter cleanups coming on the 14th and the 28th. Fontainebleau, Bogaflaya on the 7th. The Friends of the Cat Island National Wildlife Refuge in St. Francisville, they are hosting a bird walk, and I'm leading it with Katie Percy, who is a USGS biologist. She's done a lot of work with prothonotary and golden wing warblers. And then on the 21st at Fontainebleau, Canoe and Trail is teaming up with Sport Optics and Zeiss Optics to do a free kind of product demo with Zeiss and another bird walk, which I'll be leading. Sport Optics is they're an online optics retailer based out of Hammond. So they've helped us out a lot. Tonight one of our door prizes is a pair of Crossfire HD binoculars, which are really nice. That's what I started off on. And it was donated by Sport Optics. So I want to thank them for that. I wanted Lauren to come up and talk, but she said she doesn't want to. So the Sport Optics Canoe and Trail Zeiss walk is going to be, we're going to gather around 8:30, probably go on a 2-ish hour walk, I guess, from 9 to 11, and then they're going to provide us lunch. They're going to have really nice loaner Zeiss binoculars. It's free. Anybody can come, and registration will soon go live on Canoe and Trail's on Canoe and Trail's website. It's free, but the registration helps us, gauge a head count. If there's 60 people registered, I'm going to need somebody to help me guide because that's just, too many people. And we do have some door prizes again tonight. The plan initially was to give away the binoculars if we hit $100 in donations, and we hit that in about 5 minutes. So that's awesome. I don't know what we're at, but we have some other door prizes. I'm going to give away one now, another halfway through, and then the last one, the binoculars at the end. So we're going to do first this giant Monstera, which Ashley donated. And who's got the tickets? You got them?
Can I mention one other event?
Yeah.
So tomorrow night is the first, after summer hiatus, meeting of the Audubon.
That too?
Avita
So you can either do it with the shirt or
in
separate.
Avita
Oh,
Springs.
I'll do it together.
At the
I'll do it
town
together.
hall in Avita Springs. And I'll be talking about hummingbirds tomorrow night. So,
What time?
6 p.m.
And
All the railroad cars in different buildings.
Different building.
Okay.
It looks like a
What
dance
club is this, for those of us that aren't members that didn't know we were coming to a club meeting?
good point. Yeah, so this is the Northshore Nature Club. This is our second meeting. Still kind of working out the kinks.
You're doing a pretty good job.
Thanks. I know this is great. This is great. You know, the whole point of this club really is to just get people outdoors. Everybody wants to go outdoors, but I found it really overwhelming for a long time to go outdoors, but I didn't know what to do, where to go, how to do it. So I'd go walk around Fontainebleau for 30 minutes and be like, all right, there's trees, and I'd leave. You know, knowing about the plants and the birds and the snakes it's free, and it's not as hard as you think. You know, you don't need an academic level knowledge to appreciate birds. You know, I'll talk more about me later in my experience. And just want to plug the Google Calendar. I don't know if anybody's been using it, but every single day I check it and I make sure I add new events. So Jane's got the hummingbird event tomorrow, but she's also got, 3 or 4 more coming up? Yeah, so in Hammond, Ponchatoula, the LSU Ag Center in Denham or something.
It's in Hammond.
In Hammond? Okay.
Ponchatoula Library on September 5th. September 14th, the Hammond Research Station. We're having a whole hummingbird celebration that morning with banding and talks and plant recommendations. And so, yeah, so Baton Rouge Audubon calendar would be the place to find my stuff.
Yeah, and I'm going to put stuff on BR Audubon onto our calendar too. Where'd the nest end up? I'll pass it around,
It's right here.
drum up some interest. So earlier this summer, I happened to see a ruby-throat hummingbird tending to a nest, and it was about 15 feet up high, and it was I was able to find it again, keep an eye on it. They don't reuse nests because they're made out of spider webs and lichen. You know, they don't stand up to the test of time. Today, when I was doing my weekly Limpkin survey at Neighborwoods, I happened to meet the City of Mandeville arborist, which is really random, but I introduced myself, and I asked him if I could cut the nest down, and he said yes. And I happened to have a 15-foot pole saw in my car. So it all worked out. It all worked out really well. This is a hummingbird nest. I cut it down because Jane's doing all these, one, because it's cool, and Jane's doing all these hummingbird classes, so I'm going to pass this around if you want to see a hummingbird nest. It's really small.
You noticed that 15 feet up?
15?
You noticed that
Well,
15 feet?
it's actually the second hummingbird nest I found this breeding season, because the hummingbirds, they're constantly moving. So when they're tending to a nest, whether they're like incubating or building it, they go to it every 90 seconds. They go, put some spider webs, or they go sit on the eggs for a second. The eggs are like the size of a Tic Tac, by the way, which is, I think, crazy. But the easiest way to find it is just keep an eye. You'll see the hummingbird zipping around, and yeah. So price. We're gonna do. Let's do this Monstera. So I have last 3 digits is 890. If y'all need the light on, I could put it back on.
890.
890.
I think I have it.
You have it? Let me see.
I think that's it.
There we go.
Outstanding.
Yeah. You can. I could put it in front of you right now, or you could just take it.
I won't forget it.
Okay. Yeah. Ashley said she's bringing them on Sarah. I was thinking a little thing, not this massive. Ashley, right there. She donated it.
I will appreciate it. I'll take you care of it.
It's been an outside plant, so.
I want more outside plants.
I mean, you can put it inside.
What did you say? Inside or outside?
It was an outside plant, so if you bring it inside, it might pout like a couple of
Oh, cool.
days,
Okay.
It likes being outside.
All right. So this is called "Why Aren't You Birdwatching Yet?" For those of us who are already seasoned bird watchers, you might learn a new thing here or there. You know, this is targeted towards getting people into bird watching. You know, how to get into it, and it's just bird watching. This is going to sound very dramatic, but it changed my life, and I'll prove it. But this is to get you into it. So about me, this is all of my contact information, eBird, iNaturalist, all of that. So I'm born and raised in Mandeville. I dropped out of Mandeville High in 2011. I'm a certified Louisiana Master Naturalist through the Baton Rouge chapter, and tomorrow I'm starting the certification out of the New Orleans chapter. I I am a bird/nature/outdoor guide for canoe and trail. I don't know if bird, nature, or outdoor is the best word, so I just use all three for now. I'm not an academic. I have my highest level of education is an associate's degree at Delgado. I've been bird watching for about 2 years now. The first, 2 years. It's been 2 years. I've always kind of had a passing interest in birds, but again, I didn't think I was allowed to know more. I thought I had to go to school. I had to, go on expeditions in the Andes and stuff, which you don't have to do. We have so many birds in Louisiana, specifically St. Tammany Parish. I think we have 330 species is the record. Yeah, like 330 different species of birds pass through St. Tammany Parish alone, which is incredible in my opinion. So my spark bird is a belted kingfisher. Now, a spark bird is a term that birders know, but if you're new to bird watching, spark bird is, as it says right here, it mutates one benign regard for nature into receiving exorbitant interest, lifelong passion, changing lives and careers. That's really dramatic, but birders can be dramatic. Birders are weird people. What that simply means, a spark bird, is it's the bird that got you into bird watching. Every bird, pretty much every birder has one. It's the bird that just flipped that switch in the mind. Mine is a belted kingfisher, which is a year-round resident of St. Tammany Parish. They thin out in the summer. They breed in the side of riverbanks, like they burrow. It's really they're strange birds. But as you can see, they have this excellent mohawk. The bill is far too big for the body. They sometimes have a weird neck like that. They're very plump and round. So my sparkbird story is 2 years ago. It was in spring of 2022. The Abita Springs full town garage sale. Okay, I pick up this field guide for $1. It's just illustrated birds. This is before I was bird watching. I just picked this up and I'm like, that's cool. Garage sales. And I remember flipping through it and I landed on the page for the belted kingfisher. And I was like, man, that is a funny looking bird. Look at that, the bill, the mohawk, like he's got that little fish, like he looks so silly. And then I saw one like a week later on the lakefront. And I was like, what other birds do we have? We have the belted kingfisher. So then about a week later, I bought a pair of cheap binoculars at Walmart. And then a week after that, the Jane Patterson's class popped up as like a sponsored thing on my Facebook, like birding basics. And I'm like, that sounds fun, let's do that. So I signed up for her class. And then really the rest is history at this point, From day one, I met Lauren over here, Sport Optics, and we were in that class together. I was shocked to see somebody not only in their 30s, but also younger than me, and also you're 20 something. So, yeah. Anyway, but somebody who's younger than me in the class, and I'm like, look at that, because most people, it was Wednesday morning at 8 a.m. So it mostly caters to retired people. Lauren works in the industry, so she was allowed to go, but. I do have a lot of friends that have expressed interest in going, but they can't because it's in the morning. So I'm going to tease this. I'm going to start teaching birdwatching basics at Pelican Park on Thursday evenings from 6 to 8. And then the field trip is going to be the following Saturday at 8 a.m. That hasn't been announced yet. I'm still working with Pelican Park to get that finalized. But keep an eye out. I'll post it on the Northshore Nature Club. And it's going to follow... Jane's last class is on Tuesday, and then my first class will be the following Thursday. So if you want 8 weeks of bird watching in your life, now is the time. And I'm going to pass this around just so y'all can see. I have the belted kingfisher page bookmarked with seeds for bull or bristle thistle. Bristle thistle.
Do you have your business card or something with an email address or a website you can stick in the book and can screenshot it?
I can do something like that real quick, yeah. Let's see. That's a good idea. I'm glad somebody thought of that. It's like the last meeting. I wanted to do a email list, and I completely forgot. Then about halfway through, somebody suggested it. I will be getting canoe and trail business cards soon. Just don't have them yet, and I cannot wait to get them. I've always wanted a job that has a business card. Landry. Okay. Trail.com. 1315. All right, Alex Landry, alex at canoeandtrail.com, and then 985-259-1315. You can stick it in there.
And then in terms of the canoe and trail information, we do have flyers.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I love flyers.
Right? Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, Canoe and Trail and Massey's, they work together a lot.
Matt works at both.
Yeah, and this is Matt. He works here and he works Canoe and Trail, guiding Bayou Cane tours.
Yep.
So he does, do we have a moonlight or sunset paddle?
Not yet. We're working on the calendar. So I do those, do the daytime tours, the education programming with the schools, summer camp stuff. We may start dipping our toes into other events too.
Yep, cool.
Yep.
All right, so pop quiz. Which of these birds are native to St. Tammany Parish? Does anybody know? Oh, well, it was supposed to. Anyway, yeah. So all of these birds, all of these silly looking birds, you can find in St. Tammany Parish. You can't find them all year round. You know, the black Burnian warbler is, pretty much a migrant spring, a couple weeks in the fall. Cedar waxwings just the winter time. But a lot of these, the painted bunting is also migrant, although some stay around summer, I think.
Yes, they breed in St. Tammany.
Yeah, so some do breed in St. Tammany. This guy, the black-necked stilt, I've only seen these at water treatment plants, which is a weird spot to see them, but they can be found. These fancy guys, they got long pink legs, long black bill. They're very fancy. Bird. I'm going to go back real quick. I had a note, not in my hand. So This American Life, is anybody familiar with that podcast? They have two excellent episodes. One is called Sparkbird, and Noah Stricker does an interview. He was the big ear champion. He saw the most species of birds in a year, because there is such thing as competitive birding, in case you wanted to know. And he was the winner in 2018. And there's also an episode of This American Life called The Feather Heist. And the description on the website is a flute player breaks into a British museum and makes off with millions of dollars of dead birds. And it's this incredible heist. This guy steals dead birds so he could fuel his fly fishing habit. It's nuts. All right, so just some flash bird facts. Vultures don't have vocal cords. Carrier pigeons. Does anybody know how they work? No? All right, so carrier pigeon, it's raised in one spot, and then you take it with you, go wherever you got to go in the world, and then you release it. And then eventually you write a note on it, attach it to its leg, and then you release it, and then it finds its way back home. So carrier pigeons, you can literally take them, put them in a dark box for a week, and release them hundreds of miles away, and they will find their home. I just think that's fascinating. Green herons, they use tools. They'll drop leaves at their feet, and then when fish come up to bite the leaves, they'll get the fish. Crows and blue jays are cousins. Isn't that cool? Who knew that? And hingo, which is this bird right here, means devil bird or evil spirit of the woods in Portuguese or native Portuguese or something. You just gave us this fact.
South American tribe, I think.
Yeah, so it was named by a South American tribe, and it means devil bird, which is weird because it's not particularly devilish in my opinion, but an evil spirit of the woods. Birders are very, very dramatic. And birds can sleep while they're flying because they shut down half their brain, and then the other half flies, and then when the half that's flying gets tired, goes to sleep, and then the other side wakes up. So that's how they manage to fly from the Yucatan Peninsula to Grand Isle in April. They just fly 18 straight hours. It's crazy. And bird watching, this might come to a surprise to some of you, but it does enhance your reputation. I have walked into rooms, introduced myself, and they're like, "You're Alex, the bird guy?" And I'm like, "I sure am." I've only been doing this for 2 years, and I'm already known as the bird guy. So, when am I going to be in 10? And another fun fact that I didn't have time to add to this, great blue herons are about 5 feet tall. They weigh 5 pounds, about 5 pounds, and a great blue heron can eat a 3-foot alligator. Crazy, right? That's why birds are cool. You get to go watch these anyway. So everybody knows about bird songs, how they have this majestic, in the woods, you wake up in the morning and they're singing, and Some of them's really pretty. They're not all pretty. Some of them are kind of funny or strange, and I'm going to show you those. So this is Chapel Roan. She's saying birds are cool. She agrees with me, and this is my best pun I could come up with. So we're going to start with the brown-headed nuthatch, which sounds like. Isn't that funny? I don't know. I just think it's great. Whenever I'm out in the woods, my mom's backyard, walking. Oh, hey, Margaret. And I hear that, it just makes me happy. It's a bird making that sound. It sounds like a dog toy. They are year-round residents of St. Tammany. They like tops of pine trees, so they're really hard to see. The best view I've ever gotten of one was about 30 seconds at my mom's bird feeder in her backyard. So they will go to feeders, and that's your best chance to get a good look at them. Next is a yellow-breasted chat, which used to be considered a warbler, and then it is such a strange bird, they kicked it out and gave it its own family. Like, it's literally just classified in some weird, esoteric genus. They're present in St. Tammany, April through October. You can see them. I see them most at the Beta Creek Flatwoods Preserve. They're kind of hard to see. They like to sulk low, and they have a very strange song. It's long. Y'all bear with it. So that's it. That's the song of the yellow-breasted chat. It's just a series of noises. It's hardly a song, but they sing it anyway, Next, we have the gray catbird, which is another year-round resident of St. Tammany Parish. It's called the catbird because it meows, but it's also a mimic. So you all know about mockingbirds. They're mimics. They mimic car alarms, other birds. But gray catbirds also mimic, and it's easy to tell them apart. Well, I don't want to say it's easy to tell them apart, but you can tell them apart because the gray catbird is like Dizzy Gillespie. He just goes all over the place. There's no rhyme or reason or a number of different little verses or stanzas. He just goes all over the place. So first, we're going to play you the meow of the gray catbird. That's not it. Oh, yeah. I guess I did that backwards.
Is that the one you hear first thing in the morning?
It could be.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. So when I first got into bird watching, I told my dad about this bird. And he's like, so there aren't kittens in the middle of Big Branch National Wildlife Refuge? Because that's where he hunts, He hunts. And he hears this and he thinks there's kittens out there. And they sound more cat-like in person. So, and then the when they mimic, they're all over the place and they sound like. Another thing I love about the gray catbird is just how simply it's named. It is a bird that's gray and sounds like a cat. If only they were all that easy. And next we have the bald eagle, which, does live in St. Tammany Parish. They kind of thin out in the summertime, but we do have them. You can hear them, and everybody knows they sound like. Right? No, that's a red-tailed hawk. So in all the movies and stuff where they funnel in that sound to make you think it's an eagle, it's actually a red-tailed hawk, which we do have these here. Last time I heard one was like a week ago when I walked out of Franco's after working out, and I hear that. It's just, and they do that because the bald eagle actually sounds like this. Just a puny little chirp. It's supposed to be, this big fearsome raptor that represents the U.S. But I've watched them steal fish from seagulls. They're not an honorable bird. Anyway, that's about as political we're going to get today. Another reason to birdwatch is there are a number of just serendipitous encounters. So, you go out looking for birds and you end up with just so much more. You get a better social media feed. You can't really read this caption, so I'll read it to y'all. This popped up on my Facebook like 3 or 4 days ago in a Facebook group called Gardeners of the Northeast, which Gardeners of New England, which I'm nowhere near, but Facebook still pushed it to me. So this lady posted a picture of a groundhog eating sunflowers, and she said, I recently placed sunflowers in my pollinator garden specifically for the goldfinches and found out that Buddy, my backyard groundhog, loved eating them. So last night, I purchased him his very own sunflowers. Though they are feisty, they struggle so much being at the bottom of the food chain. It was the best $20 I ever spent because I made this little guy so happy. Right? It's just, that's so much better than anything else you can find on Facebook. It's just this old lady being like, I have a groundhog named Buddy in my backyard and I feed it sunflowers. Like, it's just, it makes your day so much better. Adjacent to this, anytime there's a bird meme that goes viral, you're going to get it 15 times. Because again, the bird guy. Turtles, hear me out. So on the left, this, I don't know if it's going to really work out well, but a couple of weeks ago, I stopped at Lafreniere Park in Kenner. I had like 30 minutes to kill. So I was like, I've never been here. Let's go check it out. And I happened to see, this is an eastern musk turtle attempting to climb an oak tree. I don't know. Can I make it brighter? I'm sorry if it's not great. He's got a very long neck, and he didn't mind me watching him one bit. And he's going up. He's going up. Going up. I should have sped this up. Sorry. And then he falls. But then you know what? He just gets up and he just keeps going. He's a turtle. Now, this next video is a little... Okay, so spoiler alert. That turtle is going to eat a baby duck. So don't watch it if that would upset you. It's a mallard. All right, so I took that video at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. No, it's 4 o'clock. I remember 4 o'clock in the afternoon in my very suburban retention pond behind the condo I live in on Heavens Drive. So it's not a particularly ecologically diverse area. It's a man-made pond, retention pond. It's not, I think it's stocked with blue, nothing fancy. And I just happened to be taking a walk this day because it was April something. It was a beautiful day. And I saw this turtle doing something funny, and I'm like, man, what's he doing? So I took the video, and I saw that, and I was like, damn, that's crazy. And I showed it to Bones. His name's Brad Glorioso. He goes by Bones. He's a USGS herpetologist. He did the reptiles workshop for the Baton Rouge Master Naturalists. And so he's talking about turtles, the different amphibians and stuff. And I was like, check out this video. Isn't this crazy? And he's like, dude, send that to me. And then about a week later, he messages me, and he did some research. And it had never been observed. Red-eared slider had never, ever been observed in its native range eating a live bird. So it's been hypothesized that they eat live birds, but it had never been proven or captured. And that goes so far as to... So the Tortoise Trust, which is like a nonprofit based, like a turtle nonprofit, they have a website and they have very strong feelings about red-eared sliders not eating live birds. They say they do not attack, behavior is completely unknown, conclusively beyond any doubt at all that red-eared sliders do not attack live water birds, right? And I caught that on video. So Bones is getting it peer-reviewed and published in Southeastern Naturalist, which is a academic journal that probably none of us have access to. But so there's this whole nonprofit based on, I guess, turtle propaganda, but like conclusively beyond any doubt at all. Like, you know, some PhD wrote that, and here I am with an associate's degree in general studies, like disproving this PhD. You know, that is the serendipitous stuff that bird watching gets you in your life. You know, I just happened to be in the right place in the right time. I would not have been there. I would not have talked to Bones if I hadn't already been a bird watcher. You know, I started for the birds, and then I ended up, I'm going to be published in a peer-reviewed academic journal, which is crazy, you know?
You're gonna wake up with a turtle head in your bed.
Bring it on. I'll make turtle soup. Let's see. So next serendipitous encounter, which one is it? Okay, so this is a flamingo flying. I don't know if anybody's ever seen a flamingo fly before. Oh, this is so strange looking. Yeah, it's just one. So last year, Hurricane Idalia made landfall on the Florida Panhandle. It passed through the Caribbean. And when storms have a tendency to displace birds. So flamingos were being found as far north as like Lake Erie in Pennsylvania, which is, you know, not their native habitat, right? So it was hypothesized that they would end up here on making their way back home, and they did. So somewhere in Homa, this guy was in New Orleans East, Lake St. Catherine, off Highway 90 near Bayou Sauvage. And he was there for about a week. This is a very bad picture taken with my phone zoomed all the way in of the flamingo. I'll play the video again just because I think it's kind of interesting. And it was kind of sad because he was by himself, and like every 20 minutes or so, he would just go fly a lap, I guess looking for friends, and then he'd go back in the pond. It was kind of sad, but he one day just disappeared. I'd like to think he flew back home and didn't get eaten by an alligator. So the serendipitous aspect of the flamingo, other than having the opportunity to use this fun spelling, is this is the bird, the catalyst that brought me and Ashley together. You know? And now we're really good friends. We birdwatch together all the time. She's here, brought him on Sarah, you know, all because of a flamingo, you know? Next is, I had just gotten off of work. In Old Mandeville, and me and Ashley, we were going to go bird watching. So it's like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Like it's not a great time to go bird watching, but we decided to go to the lakefront just to see, you know, what we could find. And we happened to see, so this, I guess, I wish it was bigger, but that is at least 1,000 tree swallows. They are flying in this massive, just like tornado thing. I don't know if that's information or not, but it's at least 1,000. I put 1,000 on eBird. It could have very well been more. And just the density of these birds flying was insane. Like you didn't even need binoculars. Like we didn't even use the binoculars because there were just so many of them. This is, for those familiar with the lakefront, the yacht club. We were standing right there on Bayou Castine, and this is happening right over Fontainebleau State Park. So like anybody just driving by, you know, could see all of these birds. And I posted it to Louisiana Birds, which is a Facebook group everybody should join.
You remember what time of year it was? What month it was? I think it was May.
And I guess October, November. That's when I've seen it too.
That's when
I was there.
Yeah, I think so too, because I was working at Tandem, and I was only working there from June to December. So probably about that.
This phenomenon actually made National Geographic a few years back. There's a cane fields near Oak Alley Plantation down along the Mississippi River. And the tree swallows gather in these huge roosts in October, November timeframe. And there were so many, they estimated 500,000 to 1 million birds.
Wow.
And you talk about this on steroids.
Yeah.
So many people were going down, and it was the perfect opportunity because you could stand on the public levee and watch the field that was private property without trespassing. So
Yeah.
lots and lots of birders photographic came in, and it's very cool. There's some really cool videos on YouTube about that incident.
Do they do that every year, or just happen to?
So
It
it
just-
just depends on which fields are cut or not.
So it was a serendipitous
So it's
event.
serendipitous.
Yeah, there we go.
I've seen it on Kane like 2 or 3 years.
Okay, cool.
Videos of it too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then next serendipitous thing is bird ID text. So once you become the bird guy, you're getting tons of texts. What kind of bird is this? So here, I think this was my dad. I think you sent this. He's a white ibis at the Alabama Welcome Center. This wasn't even a bird ID text. She just wanted to send me some pictures of a bird that was on her mailbox. These two are, what is this bird? It was a yellow-crowned night heron in New Orleans. And then this was a text my dad sent me last week, which I found it very charming. He's like, "Hey, I saw a big osprey out there. Just want to let you know." It's nice, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, my parents weren't bird people, but they have become, they have become, and it's great. And I'm the kind of bird watcher that will just go walk into the woods covered head to toe in clothes and bug spray so I don't get bit. Other bird watchers, they just look out their window in their bird feeder. Being a bird watcher, I'm improvising here, but being a bird watcher means anything. Like, literally, if you watch birds and you like it, you're a bird watcher. Margaret Owen's been looking at birds in her backyard for however many years you've been doing it, and you just do it. You don't keep eBird lists. It's just you just like the birds. And that's enough. If you like watching the birds, that's all you need.
Challenge is waiting for something new to come in.
Yeah. Margaret Owens, she has.
6 8 weeks ago, I had whistling ducks. I now have whistling ducks that come in every morning waiting for me to feed them.
Have their numbers increased?
Harry, Sally, Red Ethel, Ranger, and then a few others that I haven't named.
Yeah.
It's so much fun. It just brings me so much joy.
Yeah.
How you feed them? What kind of pan or?
No, just they throw on the ground.
Okay.
I mean, they're so cute.
All right. Next section is about personal growth, but first we're going to do another raffle prize. So this is going to be a Massey's t-shirt. This right here is a medium, but you could swap it out for any of them on that rack right there by the door. And a $25 gift card to Massey's. Thank you, Val. Where's Val? Oh, she's over there. She's a manager, and she's letting us be here today. So want to thank her. So last 3 digits are 853.
Wait, what?
853? Oh my God. All right, it's not rigged, I swear. This is my mom, but I had no idea. Yeah, I put her through hell for a long time, and this is the least I could do.
And Mom, you can switch it out with any of the shirts inside.
All right, thank you. All right,
Thanks, Bob.
thank you, baby.
All right, so this sounds, again, a little dramatic, that bird watching is a cure for perfectionism, but hear me out first, all right? So all of y'all can separate a male and a female blue jay or a male and a female crow because they look identical, They're not sexually dimorphous for the scientific term. And then for cardinals, some of y'all, most of y'all could probably tell the difference between a male and a female cardinal. You might already know that. But it gets kind of challenging when you start working with this. These are all the same species of bird. These are all red-tailed hawks. If you notice, some of them don't even have red tails, So as you bird, you learn little field marks, like right here. Those dark feathers, like on the shoulder, that's a giveaway that it's a red-tailed hawk. This belly band of feathers right there, it's a red-tailed hawk. And then right here, you got a red tail. So some of them are easy like that, but some of them, like this guy perched right here, you can't even see his tail, Here, you can't really see the tail or the belly or the under the wings. So this is just one species of hawk. Here we have red-tailed and red-shouldered hawks year-round. Right now we also have broad-wing hawks, Cooper's hawks, sharp. Is that you're going to make mistakes bird watching. Everybody makes mistakes bird watching. Jane, do you still make mistakes bird watching? Yeah, and she's been bird watching for, since 2005. You're going to make mistakes, and that's okay. That is a license to make mistakes. See, these are some of the mistakes that I've made bird watching. And these are all this year, too. So, they're pretty recent. So this picture was sent to me by my boss. It is a mystery bird on her bird feeder. So the color rendition isn't great, but it's mostly blue. It's got this little white patch right here, and then its throat and its chest kind of looked black, dark. So, yeah, it's sitting on a bluebird house, but my mind immediately went to black-throated blue warbler, which would be a new bird for her. It'd be this. This is what I thought it was. Because this little white patch that he's got, and then the throat here is black, I was like, oh, that's got to be a black-throated blue, like no doubt about it. I was stoked. I'm like, Lauren, you have this awesome, very rare bird in your yard. I post it to Louisiana Birds, and I'm like, yo, there's a black-throated blue in Lacombe. Like, y'all got to come see this bird, And then everybody's like, bro, that's just an eastern bluebird. And I was so sure that it was a black-throated blue. And me and Lauren, we're like, it's a black-throated blue. It's not, but, but I had so much confidence in the world that this was a sweet, rare bird, and not a single person agreed with me. And I was like, damn, that sucks. Another mistake I've made. So this bird right here was, not this picture, this one's off eBird. I couldn't find the post on Louisiana Birds, but somebody posted a picture of kind of a nondiscrete brown bird, LBJ, a little brown job. And they're like, can anybody tell me what kind of bird this is at my feeder? And, I see this kind of pale eyebrow, generally brown overall, this little white spot on the wing. And I'm like, that is a female rose-breasted grosbeak. I'm like, that is without a doubt what that bird is. And then, like, everybody behind me is like, bro, that's a female house sparrow. The female house sparrow is the bird you see at Home Depot and Lowe's. It is one of the most common birds in the world. And here I am thinking it's like this out-of-season, super rare. It's even more embarrassing because the male rose-breasted grosbeak is this beautiful, black and white bird with this red, apron on it. And my next mistake, this was just a few days ago. When did I go on that paddle? Monday night? So I have one reel on Instagram that went viral. One, with 20,000 views. The rest of them were like 20. But this one, for some reason, got 20,000 views. And it's just me for a minute just showing you different things I find in the swamp, And one of the things I identify is a monarch. And I'm like, oh, look at this monarch. I say it's the Jack Black of butterflies. Everybody likes it. Everybody knows it, And then this girl who didn't follow me, we've got like one mutual. She's like, bro, that's not a monarch. That's a viceroy. And I was looking at it, and I'm like, she's right. So 20.1 thousand people have seen me mistakenly identify a butterfly. Like that. And this is the difference, by the way. This is a monarch. This is a viceroy. So, the real way to tell this little lip or whatever right there, that is the difference. And sure, that's hard to tell, but, she could, so why couldn't I? Turns out she's actually a former entomologist, which is an insect scientist, and she is a forensic biologist, which I don't even really know what that does. But I asked her if she'd want to do a presentation for us one day, so I think she's going to be the one after Jake. So we're going to get somebody out here talking about insects or something or whatever. Amanda something. Huh? No. Her Instagram handle is Manders, if that means anything to anybody. So all that's to say is that bird identification can be challenging, but bird watching isn't. You don't need to be able to identify every bird you see to enjoy what you're doing. Because even a bad day bird watching is a good day outdoors. I made this meme. You'll never be a perfect bird watcher, which could, if you want to have this negative Nancy mindset that you'll never be perfect at it, you're more than welcome to. But all it takes is a shift in thinking to be like, you know what? I'll never be perfect, so let's just go out. I'll make mistakes. So what? Everybody makes mistakes. Yeah.
Alex, I thought that the indigo bunting was something more.
The indigo bunting was a purple martin.
40 years ago.
40?
Almost going to 35 years ago.
Yeah.
When I was young. There's a purple martin.
Yeah. And birds are tricky. You look at a female orchard oriole and a female summer tanager. Like, they're just kind of yellow birds, you know, and it's common to mix them up. And that's, again, okay. You know, like, no one's perfect, you know. So I want to go back to this verbiage over here about being very dramatic, okay? So they talk about, you know, Jacqueline Gray Miller talks about, you know, changing lives. And bird watching changed my life. So, you know, constantly challenged and reminded, you know, to be humble, you know. Like when I go in Louisiana Birds and I'm like, that's a rose-breasted grosbeak, and someone's like, no, it's not, you know, I could either throw a fit and then just kind of, you know, isolate myself in the birdwatching community, or I could just accept the loss and use it as a teaching moment, you know. Nobody cares if you're wrong, you know, but if you think you're above mistakes, then people are going to care about that, you know. They're not going to like that too much. It's the first hobby where I've truly allowed myself to make and embrace mistakes. You know, it's helped me leave my comfort zone. You know, literally, as in I will go out in the woods when it's full of mosquitoes and, you know, there's like snakes and alligators and stuff. But also public speaking. I do not like doing this. I just like birds. I like birds more than I like talking to a room full of people I don't know. When you're out bird watching, there's no AI, there's no algorithm or ChatGPT, there's no like Google Meets or Microsoft Teams or none of that. You know, half the time, some of the places, you know, you don't really have phone service. You know, which makes going out alone tricky sometimes. One of the Wilderness Wanderers, by the way, is one of those places. So if you want to go out, walk around Big Branch, no phone service, you and me, have a good time. Tips accepted. And it helps you develop curiosities. You know, curiosities like you never think you have. Like, you know, I like birds. I don't really care about trees, so I'm just going to focus on birds. But when you see, you know, a white-eyed vireo or blue-headed vireo, you know, flitting about in the trees, and someone's like, "Where is it?" You cannot say it's the tree with the green leaves because it's all of them. You have to be able to say like, "Oh, it is on that, you know, that Tupelo tree or whatever." So you kind of get to know the trees, and then once you get to know the trees, you're like, "Well, I want to find a mulberry tree because I kind of want a snack," you know. You got to know poison ivy. And then it's like, well, I might run into some snakes, so maybe I should start learning snakes, you know? And then you start like learning all the differences between all the different water snakes that we have, and then the small little DK brown snakes and the copper, and like it just keeps going and going, you know? And there's no test. You can just do it at your own pace. Do it as much as you want, you know? And then I also want to highlight sometimes careers. So this sounds crazy, but when I started bird watching 2 years ago, I was a barista, and I was okay. You know, I'm like, oh, whatever, coffee's not the worst thing. You know, kind of made me a morning person. But as time dragged on, customer service just sucks. I don't know who's in it. You know, doing it all day, every day is just, you know, like, oh, you want another vanilla latte with skim milk? Okay, fine. Give them whole milk for no reason. Yeah, if you upset a barista, you're going to get a decaf latte, and they're not going to tell you. That's the one little bit of agency and power we have. So like I'm kind of an authority on something for the first time in my life, which is crazy, you know. I have been in talks with Pelican Park about they're contracting me out to like revamp their environmental education program, which is crazy, you know. Like I don't have any academic training. I just am somebody who really likes birds and can talk about them for 45 minutes. This morning. So every Wednesday morning, I do a survey for limpkins, which I'm not going to go. I look for birds at this one park every Wednesday morning at 8 a.m. And there happened to be a guy who was wearing a City Mandeville shirt, and he's up looking at trees. And I'm like, "What you looking at, bud?" And he's like, "I was looking at some dead trees. See if we got to cut them down." I'm like, "Oh, cool." He's like, I'm like, "You know what? You work at the city?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm the city arborist." And I'm like, "Oh, you're the city arborist. Let me introduce myself." So, you know, I shook his hand. Alex Landry. He's not from around here, so he never had the the pleasure of trespassing onto city property. So I'm like, hey, I got a key to city property. You want to come see this? And he's like, what are you talking about? So there's a boardwalk out at Neighborwoods that is city property. You're not allowed to go out there, but I am because I talked to the city attorney and I signed a waiver and I got a key, which is cool. But he had never seen this part of the city before, this part of nature, and he was just wowed at it. This dude's he's an arborist, and like he's pointing out some plants and stuff, but he's asking me questions. He's like, oh, what's a limpkin? Like, what kind of bird is that? Like, is that buttonbush or not? And this dude's got a college degree. He's a city arborist, and he's asking me questions. It's crazy. That blows my mind. You know what I mean? And he knows, he knew a lot too. And we talked, and that's I asked him. He let me cut down that hummingbird nest. I don't know where it is. Please don't steal it, whoever has it. Okay, cool. And he's like, why do you want that? And I'm like, it's a hummingbird nest, bro. Like, how many times do you get this chance? And Pelican Park, like I mentioned, like I'm gonna be teaching bird watching basics, which is, I took that 2 years ago, and like now I'm teaching it, which is just, now I'm just kind of I'm out of cards. So I guess that leaves me with one question, which is, why aren't you bird watching yet? That's it. Anybody got questions? Anything? So we are gonna now.
I got one for you.
What you got?
I'm testing whether you qualify for that 10-year domain thing you were referencing earlier. Right? Carrier pigeons, you mentioned how they do that. How do they do that?
They don't know. Like, science has a lot of theories, like magnetic fields and stuff like that, but they don't know for sure. There's still mysteries in the world.
You don't get 10 years for that answer.
That's fine. Give me 10 years.
Are carrier pigeons rock doves, or they're all types of doves? Or all types of birds?
They've been like domesticated and like bred between their subspecies so much that I don't know if there are any true rock pigeons left. But
Rock pigeons have been domesticated for so long. That's right. That their origin may have been someplace in Africa, but they've been associated with humans for millennia at this point. So they really have been diluted. But carrier pigeons are a rock pigeon, a rock dove. Yeah. It's the same genus or same species rather. They're just specialized. There's roller pigeons. There's different variations, but carrier pigeons specifically have that particular gene that allows them to find their way home.
yeah. All right, so we reached our threshold of $100 for the donation. Thank you, Art. So we are going to give away a pair of binoculars. So I got these Crossfire Vortex 8x42, which are great. And then I also have these youth binoculars. So if you win and you have a kid you want to give binoculars to, you can, we'll just do them both. So if you win, you can pick which one you want. And then if you don't have a kid, don't take the kid ones. Or, I don't know. These were free. I'm just going to give them away. So 874. 874. 874? 874? You got it? Cool. You want the adult ones? Yeah. Cool. All right, so are there a lot of people that have a kid that could use the kid binoculars? Have children? Are they the only kids here? Yeah? We'll just give it to them, yeah. Here you go. Here we go. How old is she?
4.5, both of them.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Wow. Twins. Great. Okay. So that about wraps it up. We have some snacks left, maybe. The beer, I don't think we ever got tapped. Sorry. We tried. Yeah. Faulty pump situation.
The keg was not compromised, so we just got to keep it cold for the next one. Like no air is actually entering the keg.
Okay. Do you have a place to store it?
Barley oak.
Can you do that?
Yeah.
Are they going to use it?
No.
No?
Just
Okay.
go, like, take your name around it and put it in the corner.
I did also take some native seeds from the Wild Ones plant seed packing event. Yeah, everybody, this is Patty. She is the president of the Wild Ones Pontchartrain Basin chapter, which is focused on native plants.
So I'm gonna tell you that, I have found, I have property in Tylertown, Mississippi, and I put a mini prairie in front of my trailer that I could see out my kitchen window. And this spring, I saw a bird I've never seen before. I've only been doing this a couple of years, and I only look at my property, so I don't go running around trying to find birds. And I saw a blue grosbeak, and I was so impressed that I saw this blue grosbeak on my property. Never seen one before in my life. I look out my kitchen window, and they're building a nest in the little mini prairie right in front of my house. Now I'm seeing more than two, so they've been successful. I actually created a brood of blue grosbeaks. So if you plant native plants where they need to be, you're providing habitat and food for the birds. Bird feeders great, but natural habitat is better.
Not all birds will go to bird feeders, but all birds will go to native plants. So if you have native plants, then you can get any bird in your yard.
Alex, is there something going on in St. Tammany Parish with bluebirds? I've had 2 dead bluebirds on my property within a week of each other, which I thought was highly unusual.
Where are you?
North of Covington.
North of Covington.
Lee Road.
Anybody spraying pesticides or herbicides? Because that's
Yeah.
gonna
You
kill
saw dead
what they
birds?
eat.
What did you see?
Two dead bluebirds, one in the front and one in the back.
Mosquito.
Mosquito.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Bluebirds are insectivorous, and it's very possible that they got into poison insects.
You know what the Covington?
Yeah, off Old Mill.
Can you turn these lights on?
That lady too.
Okay.
Do we have any other bird questions or any?
What's the next meeting? Is it the snake?
Yeah, on 9/18, right, Jake? Yeah, 9/18. So we're gonna try to get some snakes here too. He's a landscaper, so he comes across a lot of little gardeners and decay snakes. I'm lobbying him for him to get something bigger, like an eastern king snake or a speckled king snake.
I would
We'll,
like to say, anyone here that has a snake phobia, I'm going to maintain my snakes being of a size that should not trigger any phobias. And my presentation will also have a focus on identifying poisonous snakes, environments, how to tell the difference between different animals, where they should and shouldn't be. So, if you have a fear, it's always, in my opinion, good to learn about the thing you're afraid of. It helps diminish that fear.
There's a really good Facebook page on snake identification in Louisiana.
I've seen that page, yeah.
And everybody does the same thing. Can you identify this?
Yeah.
And I'm a snake guy, and it still reinforces what turns out what little I know.
yeah.
But I've been catching snakes since I was about 12 years old and selling them to the pet shops when I was a kid.
Yeah.
What page is that?
Is it?
Louisiana Snake ID and Louisiana Amphibians and Reptile Enthusiasts are two excellent resources. Both run by expert snake people.
Yeah, Lair is run by.
Snake ID and Louisiana Amphibians and Reptile Enthusiasts.
Yeah,
Bones is the
yeah, Lair, the Louisiana reptile amphibians and reptile enthusiasts. Yeah, it's a mouthful. The guy that runs that page is the guy that got my turtle is getting my turtle video published. So
I have an Instagram. I'm guessing a lot of people in this crowd probably don't have an Instagram, but I also have my phone number on here.
damn, throwing shade already.
Sorry. I'm an artist. I know my demographic. My phone number's also on here. If you want to take a picture, if you text, you can take a picture with your phone. If you see a snake and you don't know what it is, you can always text me a picture, and I'll text you back and let you know what it is.
Is this meeting on the 18th, your Snake Fest?
Yeah.
Is that here?
We're still.
We don't have a venue. I mean, this is working out well. So I mean, maybe we'll do this again if we didn't.
Yeah,
you know.
I'm up for wherever. I'm gonna leave the venue up to Alex.
Is everybody likes it here? This is good. Northshore Nature Club Facebook group, and the Northshore Nature Club Facebook page, and there's also a Northshore Nature Club Instagram page. So the group, the Facebook group, is where I do most of the posting, and on all three there's a link to the Google Calendar that's got all the events that I am continually updating. With summer ending, there's a lot more events coming up because a lot of outdoor stuff takes a break in July and August because it's so hot. And I guess before we wrap it up, I do want to give. Oh yeah, what you got?
Again, I opened up that offer to my backyard in September. I normally get thousands of hummingbirds in my yard.
Have you talked to Eric Johnson yet? Have you talked to Eric yet? Eric Johnson. Okay, I'd like to do it. I'd like to do it with him. Nancy said she would. We'll talk about it. I mean, maybe in October. September's kind of busy. It's over. Okay, I'll look at my calendar.